Hello class. So now we want to solve one-step equations pictorially or using algebra tiles. So we did represent the equations using algebra tiles earlier, and these are the steps. I wrote them down here of what you need to do to solve this problem. So solving one-step equations pictorially. So x plus 2 equals 5. First thing you want to do is you want to draw or represent this algebra or equation using algebra tiles. So you have x, that is one horizontal, I'm writing it horizontally here, horizontal rod. It's positive, so it's not shaded, plus 2, so you draw your plus 2 small squares. On the right side we have plus 5. Okay, so that's your first step. Second step here, I say add the opposite of tiles, so you have positive variable or x in this case on one side and all other variables on all other numbers on the other side. So so in this case here we have the x and we want to keep the x by itself, so we want to get rid of those two plus or two plus ones, so you want to do the opposite of that. If you have two plus ones, you want to add the two negatives. If you have two negatives, you add two positives. Okay, but what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side, so that would be also added here. Okay, so why is this important? Because now plus 1 minus 1 plus 1 minus 1, so these here cancel out, and also those cancel out. So this the negatives would cancel out two of the positives, and you end up with the answer. So the answer will be, you can write it separately. I'm gonna write it down here on the bottom. You will have x is what's left, and you have 1, 2, 3, and I would circle them because sometimes you have multiple x's, so you want to divide really technically how many ones you have per x, and in this case we have 1x, so all the ones are for 1x. Okay, so you can pause the video here and try this next question. Okay, so if we want to do the same work, so we have x minus 3 equals 1 here. So we want to draw that line that separates them first, and we want to represent this equation using algebra tiles. So we have x and minus 3. So this is 3 negatives, or 1, 2, 3, and they should be shaded. On the other side we have a positive 1. Okay, we want to get rid of these ones, remember? So the step would be adding positive or adding opposites to the ones that are found with the variable, the positive variable. In this case here we have to add 1, 2, and 3 positives, and what we do to one side you have to do to the other side, so you add 1, 2, 3 positives. So these here cancel out, so the answer at the end will be, we have 1x on the left side, on the right side we have 4 positive ones. You circle them together, and that is your answer, x equals 4. Not surprising, 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, you can pause the video and try the next one if you wish. Okay, so the next one we have 4x equals 8, so we would draw our equal sign here, and you have 4x, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. On the other side you have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, do we have anything on the left side? We have only x's, so we don't have to add anything to the left side or the right side because we have x's on one side. So we can really skip step 2, which is adding the opposite so you end up with only variables on one side, or only positive variables. So we have positive variables, they're all on one side, and all the numbers on the other side. So what we need to do now really is just the final step, which is group or divide. So divide the ones by the x's. So each x should have an equal amount of ones, and the only way to do this is if you do this. Each x has 2. And you're done. So x equals 2. Not surprising. If x equals 2, 4 times 2 equals 8. And we're done.